Right. I welcome you all once again to today's section. In today's edition, we are going to look at for the preparation towards exams and what you must do during the exams and probably after exams. So if you've written the exams so many times, don't worry. We're just going to walk you through the key principle behind examination. So that is that. Before that, the program is being hosted by Target Professional Consults, being sponsored by CleanSmell. So if you do have any form of cleansing need, don't worry at all, especially rubbing alcohol. For example, intermittently, I'll be sanitizing my hand, even though I'm alone in the office, but it's a common practice. Secondly, if you have any suggestion, contribution, kindly chip them in, and then we move together. So let's quickly start the pre. So I'll probably be using a whiteboard that will move together. Today we're going to look out for only 3 items. So pre-exams preparation. So the first thing is pre-exams preparation. Second, then we zoom into what? The real issue. The real issue. Examination. In fact, tricks, or what we call it, techniques. Then we'll look out for what you call post-examination. So post-examination. 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 This is not all that important. The very first 2 are the one that we need to look out for. Basically, we must establish the concept behind examination. Usually, if you don't get a concept clear, you might end up not giving out your best, giving out what we expect from you. So first of all, take a critical look of examination. Examination. Also known as exams. Some schools call it assessment. Yes. Now, examination started way back in the 19th centuries. So beginning from 1st January 1801, that is the formal examination. That is the formalization. Sit down, write exams. Great. In fact, arguments suggest that examination started even before and after the death of Christ. So somewhere Chinese had their exams 605 AD. Good. And asked us what exams. It was just for recruitment, government recruitment. So it's more like educational exams. So what is the genesis and what is the principle behind? Now, examination is to just gather evidence. Evidence. So that is examination, to just gather what? Evidence. Just evidence. Evidence of one, understanding of what you have studied, the field of study. So evidence of what? Understanding. Understanding. Now, evidence of application. Some exams are application. In fact, evidence of principles and theories. Great. So the literature behind examination is to just gather some few evidence of whether you critically understood or you get the field of study. Well, that's all. So examination is not aimed to ridicule anyone. Examination is, in fact, it's a section that we should gather a lot of evidence. So how do I know? How do I know that you like this particular item? I must conduct examination. How do I know the number of people that like mathematics? I must conduct examination. However, there are several examinations and several ways of conducting examination. We're not going to look at that. We are interested in what? Academic examination, especially ICA exam, for example, ACIB exams, for example, Makola School of Law, for example, UPAC MBA exams, for example, UCC MBA exams. So that is academic examination. Military have their own examination that they conduct. That one is very terrible. Great, especially those who want to go to Ukraine. Yes, you have to go through those processes. So these exams, the principle behind is to just get that evidence, whether what you study, the field that you study, at least you have some few principles. Don't forget that no examination is testing 100%. You know, for those who have done auditing before, if I should actually go and count everybody in Ghana, you find it very difficult. You cannot understand everything, every topic. You can't understand every topic in the exam. So examination is not about 100%. No, we don't do that. We don't do 100% examination. However, we have exceptional students. So we give room. So we have demarcated examination. Some exams start from 0 to 39. They give you a different grade. 40 to 49, a different grade. 50 to 59, a different grade. 60 to 69, a different grade. In fact, 70 to 80, a different grade, some examination. So it means that the level of understanding should not be equal. So some will score between 0 to 39, some will score 40 to 49, some will score 50 to 59. So examination is not testing 100% principle. So let's take note of examination. It's not 100%. It means that you don't need to score 100% before you pass any exams. And then nobody will pass. In fact, the officer himself, the examiner himself, also went through the same procedure. Have you seen that? Yes. Examiners were not created. Examiners were not manufactured. Examiners were not downloaded on YouTube or downloaded on Play Store. They also go through the same procedure, pass through the 100% test. So examination that you're going to sit for, the exams, can you take note that they are not expecting 100%. So it means that they are not also expecting you to, in fact, get 100% topic. So topic 1, let's give an example before we zoom into the main principle. Topic 1, topic 2. Let's say you have up to 10 topics. They don't expect you to, in fact, understand all the topics, but at least you must understand more than 50% of the topics so that when they appear in exams, you do justice to them. The most dangerous form of exams is some of the professional exams like ICA and ACCA, where you don't have a choice. Everything that appear, you must answer them. And some of the MBA exams, good. So the mode, it's what makes examination very tough. Now, mostly, then why the time? Why the limit? Now, we bring in the time, the 3-hour journey, to just summarize, 3-hour journey to summarize everything we've done probably for the semester or for the year or for the period. We have to put time limit in it because time makes everything accurate and time increase the reliability of everything. That is all. So to gather evidence, the time that we want that evidence is much important. So why is it that they will not tell us to school now? Maybe in the near future, come and write the exams. So you complete school, after come write the exam. No, it is irrelevant. So at a point in time, at the end of every term or every semester, we must assess your performance to gather evidence. That is all. So now that we know that examination is not asking us 100% knowledge in the field that we study, but instead it is asking us what? Asking us more than 50%. Yes, like I explained to you, we have taken into consideration that we have exceptional students. Some can score 100 over 100. So that is why we also grade them. But most of the professional exams don't take grading into consideration. It's the academic students, that's the degree, first degree, second degree, that they consider A, B, in fact, C, D+, A+, and co. Professional exam don't care about whether A or B. Every pass be passed. In fact, study have proved that the one that will score, for instance, whatever 52% can do, in fact, it is equivalent to whatever 99% can do. No difference. Now, after you pass your exams, for example, professional exams, after you pass the exams, it will not be pasted or posted on the forehead that, in fact, you had what? In fact, 99, 75. No, every pass be passed. So what's your worry now? Now, somebody wrote 4 papers. In fact, level 2 ICA, 6 papers. The person had all the 6, but the highest mark the person scored was 52. Ranging from 50 to 52. That was the mark the person scored. The person is a qualified accountant. Meanwhile, someone scored 75 in other paper, and meanwhile had 14 other paper, and the person was dropped back. So let's take notes of the exams. So I'm going to go through procedure to get your examination anxiety fade off instantly. Don't put any burden on you. Don't put, in fact, the heart, the brain, they need, in fact, relaxed time to absorb. So what you have to do, it means that it all calls for what? Accurate and better preparation. So that's why we have what we call pre-exams preparation. So that is where we are going to start from, pre-exams preparation. So let's go. Pre-exams preparation. In fact, the person that brought examination, formalized examination, in fact, 19th century and then 21st century. He was Henry, an American professor. Yes, he formalized. So if I have anything, in fact, we should not insult him, so, because he did very well by making an examination to test performance of what? Of students, to just gather evidence, you know, to just be sure that whatever they've taught, in fact, has been assimilated well. Is the exam that will prove that? Simple as that. In fact, that is supposed to be a very easy program. That thing you have taught me, and then, in fact, I understand everything. So why can't I just sign or swear that, oh, I understand me, targets, everything you taught me from day 1 up to, in fact, the last end of semester. Even if I come to class, I don't come to class, I swear that I understand the thing. Then case closed, there's no examination. No. There must be what? Evidence. There must be something that will tell us, that will indicate that no, you have successfully, there must be a threshold, you know, quantitative measure and qualitative measure, both of them are what required. However, to some extent, we are interested in what? Quantitative measure, that is number. Present a figure that suggests that, in fact, you can what? Or you have understood everything that we have walked you through. How we get that? So basically, that is the idea behind examination. So examination is not to ridicule, to maybe put heavy burden on you. No, it's about our preparation towards the examination. I have 2 forms of people on the platform right away. 2 forms of people. Number one, we have regular students. Regular students, meaning that all what it does is students. In fact, school, they don't do anything again, or school take about 95% of the entire time. That's regular what students, meaning that they usually school at the weekdays and work at the weekends. Then we have, we don't say regular, we have the distance students. Now, with the distance students, they normally school at the weekend and work at during the weekdays. Powerful. Then we have the professional students. The professional student, that one, we call it anytime. Have you seen professional students? Anytime. So they learn whether weekend, they don't know whether it's weekend. They don't know whether it's weekday. No. There's no preference. Good. So before we prepare for every exams, kindly know the content. So before you write any exam, principle number one, this part is something that you must have. You must know your syllabus content, the content of the subject. So content of the subject. That's the first thing you must know. So we are starting from pre-exams. So before the exam started, before you even start registration, before you apply, they pick you and now you are a member or a student member. What's the first thing you must look out for? You must look out for what? Your subject content. You know why? Now, it will surprise you that you go to the examination room and then you see a particular question, yourself, now this question isn't it a syllabus? Or this question, is it part of the game? Yes, know that to avoid surprises. Now, many students have left the content or the syllabus in the hands of who? The lecturer or the tutor, which is totally not the best. So at least have a feel, get the content, the syllabus yourself, that I must learn 10 topics. So every time you are what, marking yourself that this particular content, this particular topic, I'm okay with them. So that you can easily identify the topics that need more time and topics that do not need more time. I'll be get it. Good. If you have the content, you can even read ahead. If you have the course outline, you can read ahead. So please, first point, never and never go to class without having what? The course outline or the content. Every examination on this set, there's an outline, there's a content to it. I'll be good. So the subject that you are studying have a content. So you kindly get that one first. So if I'm not done that, please, right now, request for your content, your syllabus. Go through what's expected of you. Or get what you call the approved exam standard and learn by that. I'll be good at that. Then after our exams content, then we, in fact, apportion adequate time. We have to prepare well. So here, there's no shortcut to the exams, no shortcuts. We beg you, no shortcuts. Now, the shortcut is very dangerous. Yes, it can let you pass the exam. It can let you also mark time. So that is for the shortcut. So right after the content of the syllabus, you now look for what you call time apportionment. Very necessary time. Many of us hide under the umbrella of, oh, no time, busy at work, no time, busy at work, no time, busy at work, or other staff will chip in. Then wait. When left with just 3 days to the exams, or a week or 2 weeks to the exams. In fact, that's what you see. In fact, that one, I don't know what happened. Everything, anything you teach to understand, and the last minute part, why? What happened that way? It's because your cells are used to it. So last minute, 2 things will happen. Either you're going to confuse yourself, or you are going to, in fact, analyze the thing well. All depend on your preparation. So the last minute work, well, we have preferences. It works for some people, but it does not work for many. So identify the one that works for you and go by it. If your own is starting from the scratch, when you start, not start from the scratch. If your last minute learning is something, it's a strategy that you always use to kill the examiners, no problem. Go by that, because exams, they are gathering evidence, and then you must also have strategy to conquer exams. And these are the strategies you must go through to conquer exams. So first thing, know the syllabus content, what's expected of, so that you stop not learning, in fact, items that are not necessary. Because the chaff that normally we learn and produce in the exam, there are many. There are more than the real exam questions that they will ask us. So you realize that those exam questions that they ask, you could have done better because your preparation toward that exam question is very limited. It's rather give out few points instead of what higher points. So that is basically what you have to do. So I charge everyone to take this principle serious before any exam starts. So know your content to avoid learning stuff that are not in your content. Some people want to showcase that, yes, they can learn. They are bookworm. So they learn stuff that are not even relevant to their syllabus. We go, you don't see them there. How do you get that? So learn according to your prescribed, approved content, and case closed. Other than that, you'll be learning. In fact, you have something what you call rat poison. Yes. Time apportionment is very key. Yes. Time. In fact, time. And all this time is due to what? Planning. So planning. You plan your time very well. So if you know, here, let me give example. Identify your active period. Identify your active period for learning. Active periods for learning. Now, here, some people, in fact, they can only learn when the sun is down. When the sun is in fact, nothing enters the head. That is how they are. You know your active period. Some people too, in fact, they can only learn when the sun is very hot and they are sweating. That's how they are. Some people too, in fact, they can never learn when it's 9 p.m. Especially when it's 9 p.m. Whatever they learn, it will never go. They have to sleep. You know your, in fact, your pattern. So if you know that you learn at 9 p.m., you don't join the 9 p.m. batch. Or if you know that 9 p.m. batch is not good for you, don't join them. Identify the active period where you are active, because see, learning, in fact, it's not an easy job. If anybody likes you that learning is an easy job, in fact, it's not an easy job. Learning is not an easy job. How can you pick a book if you don't have a book? How can you pick a book and then all of a sudden you've captured everything inside the book inside your head? Why? Learning is not an easy job. Look at the page numbers from page, some of the professional book, ICA book, take their financial reporting book, almost 800, 900 pages. How can you know all this one inside your head? It's not an easy job. So if it's not an easy job, then identify the time that you are active. Don't pick material when you are tired, you are straight off and see like, I'm going to learn some more. My arm is I must learn. No, please. It's a total deceit. Please, you pick the book within some 5 minutes, you sleep right now. 5 solid minutes, you sleep right now. Meanwhile, if like you are doing TikTok or watching other movie, that one you can stay. Yes, it's like that because that one there's what? Visual movement. Now, anytime there's a visual movement, our eye is a reflector. Anytime there's a visual movement, in fact, we pick it. When something flashes like this, your eye responds faster. So, but if the book, you're holding the book, but that one there's no movement. So when I look at that item, reflect it for some time, it becomes so tired. And as now when the eye is tired, forget it. It communicates to the brain. When it goes to the brain, we feel like to no go. And then now, when the brain realizes that, then communicate to the entire body that in fact you are tired. The next 2 minutes, you will sleep. So we don't learn when we are tired. Don't say that by force, I must learn. You are deceiving yourself. We are begging you. Learning, you pay expensive time. So demarcate active time when you are strong. Now, even if it's just the whole week, you are strong one day and you sit by the learning table and then you utilize that time, it's far, far, far better than you wait when you're tired, you read the book and you sleep. When you wake up, then you feel so sad. Have you seen? You wake up, feel so sad that, oh, exam is approaching. I've not learned anything. Yesterday I slept. Today too I slept. In fact, like it becomes so, in fact, you feel so bad the entire day. You know that the day is not for you. So demarcate a portion, a time, plan a time within the day, even out of the week, plan and then go through. Good. So that is the second section. So right after the content, our time is very key. If you don't have adequate time to learn, but sometimes you pass the exams, but the understanding will not be there. Sometimes the evidence the examiners want, they don't get it. You know why? They don't get it because you can still pass the exams once you don't understand the thing. Yes, you can still pass the exams. Of late, examination is not like the olden days exams when it started. The 80s, 70s, 30s, 60s, those exams are the real exams. The exam that we see today, that one helped me get a certificate, then we are done. Olden days exams, the exams, is the one that when you finish writing it, you know that something has moved out of your body, like you have released. By the time you finish the exams, either you have reduced in size, reduced, like you become very slim and thin. Let me give you a typical example of what happened. In the olden days, there were no structured system. You know, as time goes ahead, there will be development and then there will be what? Shaping up the system. So a time will come, 50 years ahead of us, education will not be like this. Examination will not be like this. The world will not be like this. There will be some improved way of conducting exams. Yes, when the COVID came, you saw that all of us forced and pushed to online. You know, we're not used to online. Before 2020, do you hear Zoom online? No online. Now it has come to stay. A time will come, also develop something new. So the issue is that the olden days, their examination is different. That's why when they see O level, A level, in fact, it's even higher than degree now. Why? Because the system that they pass, by the time you become, in fact, you change color, you change size, you change shape, because the system train the system. They allow, in fact, the system to pass through them. But now, because you have a lot of preferences, so we don't allow the actual system to pass through us. So that is why sometimes you see a lot of qualified accountants, a lot of qualified bankers, they are in the system, many. But as to whether they possess the right, in fact, right understanding of the field, no. Why? Because, in fact, they can pass the exam. So in today's entry, in today's existence, you can pass exams without you understanding the thing. So the purpose of the examination in today's era, in fact, is going down. In the olden days, how? Olden days, people suffered because there were no structured systems. No structured systems. Syllabus content, in fact, were diverse. ICA, for instance, it came to a time, if you write an ICA, just one subject, you need 10 books because the topics are scattered. You can only find one topic in one particular book. You have to go and buy that book because of one topic for 10 marks. Another topic can be found in a different book. Go and buy that book. But this time around, they've stopped all those stuff. And now they've arranged everything in order in one particular book. So if you pick one book, you are free to go. Any book you pick, you are free to go. Olden days was not like that, not at all. So that is that. So now we get it. Now let's go. Let's add more point to that. So adequate time to, and then planning, identify your active period for learning. And then your environment, powerful environment for learning. Environment. environment. In fact, if you don't take note of this environment, it can cause a disaster. Environment. You know, some people learn with music. Some people learn without music. Some people learn when, in fact, when the weather is very hot, and that's where they can assimilate it. Some people also learn under serene. In fact, serene, no noise, no noise. So if you are the type that you learn under with music, then that means your serene environment is a music area. So such a person, every day when you're learning, make sure that there's music around you so that you don't sleep. Simple as that. I get that. That one, it differs from person to person because our assimilation levels are not the same. So identify the environment that best suits you. When you do this consistently, in fact, anything you learn, you don't need to repeat it again. And then we move with the game. I'll get that. Now let's continue. Now, then the number 3 is very critical. Practical examples and illustrations. So practical examples and what? Illustrations. Or in simple course, practice a lot of questions. So kindly take note. Practice a lot of questions. This side, I have a strong principle here. I have about 2 principles here that I will probably walk you through. 2 principles here. In fact, the main game will drop during the point 2. That is the examination technique. That one went into the examination room, and then we pick a few of them, then you go. Now, here, solve a lot of examples. Do you know why? That is a sure banker. A lot of examples, a lot of illustrations, practical ones, a lot of exam practice questions. So practice exam questions. This side, very important, exams what questions. That is where the past question comes in. Never and never step in the exams without any practice. So here, I have a principle. The very first one goes by this. 1, unknown. In fact, always when I quoted this principle, I change them. 1 known is never equal to 1 unknown. 1 unknown. However, 5 known, they are now equal to 1 unknown. What am I saying with these terms? 1, I'm just saying that over here, if you know one way of solving that particular concept or topic, is not enough. Please, it's not enough for exams. One way is not enough. For the exam that you're going to write, many of you are what? Professional students. So for professional students, one way example is not the best. One way means you only know one. You have solved only one example on that topic. So you have 10 topics. You have solved only one example, and that some of the topics, none, no question. You've not solved any question. So you are now going to use the exam question as a practice. And now, anytime students use exam question as a practice, the examiner or the marker also use the answer booklet also as what? Practice. In fact, it corresponds. I'll get that. So practice enough questions so that the examiner will use your answer booklet as what? As alternative marking scheme, not as a practice. So let's take note of that. This side is the most important thing. Could you believe that the person that can practice a lot of questions is a person that can, in fact, pass the exams successfully, practice a lot of questions. And that's the side that requires a lot of time, a lot, because the principle is only one. Examination, principle is only one. the principle is only one. Have you ever seen that they've changed financial reporting syllabus? No. The legal accounting syllabus? No. It's the same syllabus they've used for some period, maybe 5 years, 10 years. They've not changed that. But why did they keep on changing the question? The principle is just one. Accounting is always accounting. However, the question that we set, we changed it. So today the form was 10 left. The next day the form will turn right. The next day upside down. So if you are the type that know only left side of it, you go, they show you the right side. You say, no way, Apostle F, paper jam. So to avoid this, before you sit for any exams, Target is telling you that before you sit for any exam, make sure that you have solved 5 questions under the same topic. Please, 5 different questions, not solving the same question 5 times. No, solve 5 different questions. Why am I saying this? Now, when you solve 5 different questions, when you go to the exams, 2 things will happen. It means that it can happen that none. In fact, let me start from the one. If you solve just 1 question, you go, that question will not come. Or that form never drop. Different stuff, different. That's why I said that, this question is in the syllabus. Yes, it's in the syllabus. Now, if you solve 5 questions, go to the exams, 2 things will happen. Let's take the good news. In fact, if you solve the questions well, you may be able, in fact, to get one of your questions in. So it means that it can be possible that the question that you solve, one of them will be the ditto. They will not change anything. And thank God. If I have not solved that question, we'll be happy in that exam. Not be happy because everybody solved the same, had that question, and you alone did not solve the question. So first thing, either one of the 5 questions will drop in exams. Second scenario, let's take the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario. In the worst case scenario, none of the 5, none of them will drop. But the good news is that you have 5 different ways of solving the same principle, dealing with the same matter. So at the end of the day, even if none of the 5 came, the understanding of the 5 should come, join, team up as one, and in fact, help you kick the one that you don't know on the way, because you say something like this: oh, when it was first one, I did that way. Number 2, that way. Number 3, that way. Number 4, that way. Number 5, that way. So the new one which is coming, just one new. So all this understanding will not help me to solve. But if you know only one way, when you go, there will be new question and everything seems new. When people are taking extra sheets, well, not every extra sheet also come for good news. Then you have not even reached anywhere because your level of understanding or preparation or practice does not mean exam question. Especially professional exams, very, very tricky. Professional exams, very, very, very tricky. Yes, professional exams, very, very, very well, tricky. So let's go by this principle very well. Make sure that 1 known is not equal to 1 unknown, but 5 known now is equal to what? 1 unknown. And that is the genesis of that principle. That principle is centered on what? Practice. Practice. In fact, even there's a local proverb that goes this way: practice make a man what? Perfect. So please, if you want to be perfect, it's not about anything. The principle is one. The principle is just one, but the practicing of the question. So let's take note of that. Now, realize that I normally have some principle for you called the 3 protocols. I normally write them 3P. Most of you are aware of that. Now, to be successful in any exams, the practice comes with 3 principles. Number 1, before you practice any exam questions, first, you must know the principles. So the first P is what? The principle. Of course, sometimes if you have no idea about that topic, you can never solve question under it. So have a fair idea about the topic. Some of the students are naturally talented, naturally. They can solve questions without understanding the principle. They are the exceptional students. Now, if in fact you're not like that, you're not exceptional students, then you must know the principle. First thing, what's the principle? That topic. Know that topic. Know the topic. And please know the exam format. Know the exam questions. Some exams are 7 questions. Some exams are 5. Some people don't know, in fact, the number of questions you are going to answer. You only read that from the exam they are writing. There has been past questions. So if you practice a lot of past questions, you will know the exact exam format that you must go by. At least the previous exams, you go and pick that one, look at the format alone. Look at the number of questions that came. That one alone will inform you the principles you must learn. Now, number 2, you practice a lot of questions. In fact, practice a lot of questions. This side is most important one. That's the 3 P's for passing any exams. Principle, get the principles right. Practice enough for a lot of questions. Then, in fact, the third one, normally write it small. Of course, that's the moral bit of it. Yes, you pay all your fees. All your fees. You want to pass exams, pay all your fees. It's also part of the motivation to pass. Yes, because you're getting conscious because that, oh, this exam now I've not paid though. In fact, the person who paid for my damn for have not paid though. Some of the schools you have not paid will not allow you to write the exams. So it's part of the principle that you must deal with. You learn, you practice, you pay fees, and you sit for the exams, and you be successful. If you learn, you practice, you pay. And this now put the payment at the last side. Some people can learn, practice later on. 2 days to the exam date, and then favor will drop and we'll get some money somewhere to register. Some people too will learn last minute, and then favor drops somewhere, they register, and then they go and sit for the exam, and they'll be successful. Some too will pay the exams right from day one, but they'll not practice, they'll not learn, they'll not practice the principle, they wait, they'll not be successful. The most important thing, start from here, get the principles right, practice enough questions. Some people, if it's a professional exams, they learn and test their pulse and see whether they are fit for the exam before they go and pay for the examination fees or tuition fee or something like that. When they are ready, and that's a perfect one. You learn. So as soon as the time is due, you scale yourself. See, professional exams not like testing pulse. Don't say I'm going to test my pulse. Try and lucky. Let me go into try and lucky. Let me go. In fact, for professional exams, no. So we don't probably look at that. So these 3 P's are very fantastic one, and then we move with the game. So now we've talked about what? Let's go over time, and then the environment, content, and then in fact, now, after the practice of the exam question, in fact, take time for revision. Please take time for revision. You are not a computer. Computer is the one that can store everything with that revision. Computer can bring it back. Our brains are not, even though computers were made from brains, our brains are not the same as computer. So please take adequate time. So number 4, take enough time for revision. So revise. Revision is very important to just memorize, go over what you have done. Go through and say that all of them are the right place. Any of them that do not fall at the right place, what do? Quickly put them in. So please, for those who are doing professional exam, ACIB, ICA Ghana, ACCA, CPA, CIMA, and the other, your terrain go this way. tuition phase, practice phase, and revision phase. So for ICA Ghana, colleagues among us, make sure that you go through these stages. Don't, even if you omit one, your chance of being successful is very low. Make sure you have all the three. Tuition is where you go for class, learning centers. You can obtain tuition from learning centers. Or you can also obtain tuition by doing what you call self-tuition, self-study, especially lecturers. Some lecturers, yes, that's what they use to pass the exams. They do self-study. Because sometimes it's closer to their field of study. Again, you can also be using other learning material, books. Some people can also pick the books. And books, it must be the appropriate and recommended textbook, not any book at all. The mere fact you're doing financial report does not go and pick what you call undergrad financial reporting. It does not go and pick any unapproved, unrecommended. Please make sure that you pick what approved, recommended books. Books that your lecturer approved that, books that the school approved that, books that the institute approved that. Not any other books, or the books that, in fact, many questions drop from me. Have you seen that? Who don't want good news? The book that many questions drop, that book should be part of you. And then some also use, recently, videos are in. Videos, you can also use videos to probably do the tuition. Practice, you have to do it alone. If you let somebody do the practice for you, please, it's not the best. Practice, you only need guidance. You solve a question, you present to the lecturer that, hello, sir, these are the questions I've solved. Check for me. Some of the questions have solution. Go and check the solution. If you are correct, mark yourself. So practice must be solved. This one is solve. Do it by yourself. Never, and don't let anybody do that practice for you. If you do that, then that person has come write the exam for you. Practice is by yourself. Please, if you're going to practice enough questions, it must be by yourself. Or a group, or let all solve. For the first time, all of you sit down, you solve. Because some of the questions you can't solve alone. Some of the professional questions, you can never solve it alone. You can't do it alone. We beg you. You can't do it alone. Some of the questions, you need what? You need combined forces together so that you cannot kick those questions out of the game. How big is that? Powerful. So, and please, this practice is very important. Learning can be yourself or any other person can help you, but the practice, please, let about 90% should come from yourself. How big is that? Good. So let the practice come from yourself, and then you move with that of the game. So basically, that is the game. Then, if you have a question, can you chip your questions in and let's go? Okay, so if you do have a question, suggestion, contribution, you can chip them in. Somebody say, but me, I've learned, I've practiced. In fact, I've done the revision, but still, I'm not getting it. Don't worry, I'll come to your 10. Don't worry at all. I'll come to your 10. I'll come to your 10. Now, after you have practiced enough questions, sometimes the question you solve day one, how sure are you that you still remember that question up to now? Now, what happened is this. We must know the forms of memory that we have. Let me capture that one for you. Forms of memory. Every human being. We have 3 forms of memory. It goes this way. short-term memory, medium-term memory, our memory, where we store. And then we have the long-term. Please, anytime you learn and you get it, you understand it for the first time, it's here, it's at the short term. And if you don't go over again, it's missing forever. So no wonder you can learn item at the examination date, you can never remember it again. They are gone because you only kept them, you only store that knowledge under your short-term memory. You never transfer them to long-term. Items that you remember, they are between short, medium term, and then that of the long term. Let me take this one off. If I'm supposed to be medium term, let's go. Medium. I'll pick some few questions and then try them with you with the techniques that you're going to adopt. Now, let's go. So if you learn something right now, today, it's on a short-term memory. It will take 3 consecutive times, 3 times, three consecutive times. It will move it to the medium term. When you go to the medium term, it can stay for a while. That is why you can do 2 points and pass the exams. After you pass, you can remember it again because, yes, you can remember. Medium term, you can remember it back. By short term, you cannot remember it again. You understand the thing, but when they ask you, you can never say it again. You can't produce it back. That's for short-term memory. Medium term, you can reproduce them, but it's for a while. After some time, it vanishes. It will not come back again. Then if you keep on constantly practice, the essence of practicing of question is that to make sure that that principle moves along this memory and finally drops the long term. As soon as it drops the long term until you die, you'll never forget about it. Why is that? You learn something at class 3, you still remember it. A music, a song that you, in fact, you like, you learn it for the first time, you keep on singing it, practicing it, and now that song is with you as if you are the one who wrote the song. How come exams? How come book? How come exam question? That one, when you go there, in fact, not all of them come back. It's because we don't practice them the way we practice song. Then the question is, so can I practice exam question like the way I sing every day? Yes, do the same thing. Simple as that. So that's the memory. So when you do that, it will enhance your revision. Revision simple means going over from first item to the last item before you sit for the exam. Usually use the last week before the exams. Last week before the exam. That's the preferred one. Last week before the exams. Please don't do revision at the beginning of the course. Please, we don't do revision at the beginning. Yes, 30 and now you are doing your revision. Hey, no, don't do that. When you start, get the principles right. Practice enough questions by yourself. Then last week before the exams, you now revise. If you fail to revise 1 week before the exams, you will not produce tangible results. I normally have some time. Normally, it's something that I practice, but I can share with you. This is what after the last week to the exams, every professional exams that I write last week to the exams, I normally tell everybody, including friends, everyone, that I'll be traveling out of Accra. So I normally give excuse I'm traveling. So when you call me, you not get me that 1 week. And that's the week that if I'll pass, I'll know. If I'll fail the exams, I'll know. So that 1 week, all phones, all gadgets, everything, internet off, Facebook off, everything off. That 1 week. So that 1 week is phone-less, Facebook-less, whatever less. That one, you take a leave, you come and sit at home. It's not like you're going to learn and then in the evening you're going to now be on your phone. No. The phone will take it away. In fact, you are doing this continuously. You are not touching your phone for 1 week. Whichever exam, no matter how difficult that exam is, you pass these exams. 1 week to the exams, you get a time. In fact, even if you have not learned something much, that 1 week to the exams, and then if your phones or any disturbance do not come in, so I normally move out from the house, go to a nearby place, go and sit there the entire day, come back again. When I can come and eat and go back, go and then continue the game to the next day morning for 1 week, then go and sit for the exams and see the results. It will surprise you, it will shock you like a magic that everything, because you have taken adequate time to prepare. Abigail, that you have taken adequate time to prepare. So take note of that. Stay away from all distraction at the revision side. And normally know yourself. If you like group discussion, then discuss with colleagues. Normally it sticks. You know why? Because it's like an argument. Now, some people have what you call pictorial memory. Some people have pictorial memory. In fact, they can scan. That is why, in fact, some people in examination, they can open books. They'll be opening the book that they've read and they'll be writing the page. In fact, they can even write page numbers for us. Yes. Because their memory is like a picture. Some people to know, their memory only absorb words from friends, words from people. They can only remember that. If your own group studies help you, then utilize this very well. Lastly, get that good friends. It should be more than 5 people. From 5 people going, tend to be a gossip group. You need more than 5 people, you go and then you now study. If group discussion is not your own, please don't join it. We beg you, don't join it. Because if you join it and it's not your type, you rather, in fact, you will not be effective. Time wasted can never be regained. So these sections are very important. If you don't go to this, you don't sit for any exams. If you have not get the principles right, practice enough questions, you have not revised for the last week of the exams or before the exam, if you not revise, don't sit for the exam, defer the paper. Defer the paper. How do you get it? So this section is very important. So now let's take note of this. I'll move on. I have to be wrapping up and then start solving questions with you. And then the techniques. All these are pre-exams. So I've not entered the examination room. From here down, now enter the examination room. What you must do in the examination room. Now, the last one that I'll leave you with is to know the exams format, the exams requirements, exams format, the exams format. So number 5, know your exam focus. Exam what? Focus. Yes, because after all, it's the exams you are going to learn. Your exams you are going to write and pass. That's the ultimate game or ultimate goal is to pass the exams. But if you don't know the focus of the exams, how can you write it and pass? The focus. No, the mere fact that the textbook is around 800 pages does not mean everything is coming in the exams. Take note of that. The mere fact that the book, some of the book, we write it for formality so that the book is very big so that it can command huge money. Because some people, the book is not big and you say you quote the price high, they'll never pay. They're not ready to pay. You do small book, this small book, you are selling to me at 100 Ghana cedis. I'll not buy. So that one, add stuff, add unnecessary stuff to the book so that the book becomes very big. So that now when you're paying, yes, look at the size alone, the book is big. Meanwhile, it's not about the size that make the book, it's the exam focus. Exam focus. How do you know the exam focus? You can know the exam focus by 1, going through your past questions. Just the exam format, the exam format. Exam format. Every exam have a format. Compulsory part, optional side. Never enter the examination room before looking for, is there any compulsory? Is there any optional? Do I have to answer all questions? Do I have to answer question 1? Do I have to answer question 2? There's no time for exams. There's no. So if you don't know the exam focus while studying, you find it very difficult. So the exam focus is very critical. So to pass any exam, it's not the examination room that you're looking for. Where's the compulsory questions? No. ACIB, for example, you know the exam format already. Know the exam format. How do you know it? Pick a past questions. You can get from past questions. Good. You can get from where? A past questions. And then now use the past question to do what? To look for the exam. Then read chief examiner's comments. So read examiner's comments. Examiner's comments is the nice way, the best way to learn, the best way. Now, examiner's comments are very important. Never underrate them when they come out. So before you sit for next exam, make sure that you've read last sitting's examiner's comments so that all the mistakes students committed, you don't repeat the same mistake for the examiner. And I'll show you one here, one here. If you're able to go through the exams, in fact, this one, if you don't get it, you can contact the lecturer. Your lecturer can give you the exams focus or the examiner's what? Examiner's commentary. So I'll start from the ICA and then I'll go to the home. In fact, this class is being hosted by the bankers because there are many, there are more than the ICA so far. So I'll start from the ICA and finally land on them. The exam focus is very important. So it's like Makola School of Law or Ghana School of Law. Now, you must know the exam focus. How many questions am I going to answer? And then what was the past exam question? So before you go, you have gone through all this. So let me pick financial reporting, which is common to all our exams. So financial reporting, why you show yourself? Financial reporting. Financial reporting. For anyone that buy Target Professional Consult, past question, it comes with what? Chief examiner's comment, and then you get it. So I'm going to walk you through how to utilize that because they give insight, what to do, what not to do. Chief examiner's comment. ACIB, I'll also go through some of your examiner's comments, and then we move. So let's all go and then start the main game. I've not still entered the examination room. Oh. The main focus, what's happening in the examination room. Now, what you must do before the exams. Because the examination room, that one is due and die matter, and that one, there's not, in fact, you can't do anything about it. It's 50-50. Everything. It's before that you can adequately prepare. At the examination room, if you go the question over there, they are unfamiliar. All what you have to do is you take your car key, you just call the nearby invigilator, tell them that you have emergency at home, and then tell your friend that I'll see you next sitting. Then you come back home. But before the exams, you adequately have time to go through. So this is ICA financial report. Let me go to last sitting, just ended sitting. Read the chief examiner's report for you. Good. For you to get it for me. Okay, so let's go. I pick from all sections. Then we enter into the examination room. Last sitting. Okay, so let's go to last sitting's ICA exams. This financial report in last sitting. And if you are lucky, some of the examiners, each of every question, they write a report and they give a general view. So this November 2021 ICA exams. This is a general examiner's general comment. The performance of candidates in this diet is relatively better than performance in the previous diet. Candidates perform below average with a modal mark of 19 to 30. That means a lot of people had 19 to 36. Only few people had about 50. Obviously, modal, the one that they had, in fact, the one that occurred, most occurring number. So even that means not even a good news. So, and they say the performance is good. Let's go. This is far below expectation, but compared to the last sitting, once again, the performance of most candidates indicated that a lack of solid foundation and skills needed for the paper. It means that the principle has not been done well. The skills, the principle, the practice. Meanwhile, the question fall within the approved syllabus, what I was talking about, that know your syllabus, know the content, what you are learning, so that you don't learn chaff, so that you don't learn what is not expected of you. Get the syllabus content, not the book. The book is a manual. Most people rely in the book. Please and please again, ICA don't owe any student. ACIB don't owe any student for picking a question from a particular book. No. You can go, the questions are not in any textbook. However, the questions are coming from where? The syllabus. That is why you must know your syllabus content, not the book. The book is a manual. First of all, let me give you a typical example. If you go and buy a television set, and now you know how to operate that television set, you use the manual given to you. No, you don't use the manual. So it means that if you know the syllabus content already, there's no need for you to go to the manual or the textbook they provided. The textbooks guide you, the principle. So does not mean that everything should come from the textbooks. I get that. Powerful. So the syllabus content. So I'm charging you that if you don't know the syllabus content from now, go and look for it and then get it. Now let's go. The institute, but the marks distribution was fair and in line with the syllabus grade. Thank you. So if you know the syllabus, we know that, always, my question 1A is 20 marks. My question 1B is 20 marks. Always question 1 is 20 marks. Question 2 is this. You know the content so that you don't put heavy weight on something that will come for 2 marks. No, don't have time. Standard of the paper. The standard of the question was appropriate for the level being assessed. Yes. No exam now said that it's below. No. The requirements of the question were generally clear. Wow. Evaluation of the examination questions indicated that the syllabus coverage was good, powerful, provided candidates with enough flexibility to appropriately respond to the current financial reporting issues. The difficulty level, that is where you have to go and learn. Go and learn it this side. The difficulty level of the paper is standard and within expectation. Questions were evenly weighted. The paper followed the pattern of the previous sitting and generally considered in a standard with the last sitting's paper. The mark allocation generally follow the weightings in the syllabus grade. They keep on mentioning the syllabus. They never mention any book here. They never mention any textbook here. They never mention any manual here. They keep on mentioning the syllabus. So if you write any exam without you knowing the syllabus, please know the content. And then commensurated with the amount of time and effort required to answer the question. Now, performance of candidates. The performance of candidates, once again, was below average, even though it was better than performance in the previous setting. Most candidates score marks below what? 30%. That was the modal mark. With a good number scoring below 20. Wow. Poor performance of candidates is consistent with the previous setting. That means this is not new, of course. It can be attributed towards inadequate preparation before. Preparation by candidates for the paper and the standard of the quality attained, the standard of the quality attained by the candidates in the previous tertiary institution attended. That means it's down. Now, IC examiners also saying that they are blaming the university that we attend. They are telling us that maybe we not get the required standard. You know, what we did at the degree level is not the same as the professional level. We beg you. There are vast difference. So whatever you were taught there, when you come and then upgrade it at the professional level. Examiner did not cite any sign of what copying by candidates at any center. Okay, no. Now, weakness. You must read all these weakness and make sure that now you turn them to your strength before you can pass the next certain exams. Every question here that the examiner answered, especially if you buy Target Professional Consult, are past questions. All the question here, this examiner's requirement, each question, examiner's requirement, each question. So they will tell you, look at this. The performance of candidates on this question was comparatively better over the previous diet. The style of the question was familiar and few candidates score all marks allocated for the question. Wow, look at this, exceptional student. Few candidates score all the marks. That means somebody had 20 over 20 in this question. Few of them had 20 over 20. A good number of candidates could not compare the fair values of event receivable, and then all of them are there. Some candidates did not know how to prepare net asset schedule for subsidiary at all. Now, let me read the last one. Surprisingly, some candidates did not attempt this relatively straightforward question at all. So they did not even attempt it at all. That is what the examiner is saying. Good. So I've done scan through examiner's requirement before I go and sit for next. So I challenge you, every student on the page, before you write the next sitting exams, make sure that you've gone through the chief examiner. So if I've gone through ICA Ghana, let me also go to another section, okay? Because there are a lot of mixed professionals that we have on the page. Again, for degree students, MBA or the undergrad, that one, most of your questions don't have examiner's comments, unless the marking schemes. So get the past question and 8 marking schemes and then study them, and then that's all. Let's go. So now, let me show you something here. Good. Now, I just want to see here, attempt all questions. That was what ICA started with, attempt all questions. All the questions must attempt them. And no, attempt does not mean that solve the question. Attempt and answer, they are two different terms. Answer means you get the final answer for us. Attempt means do as if you are not doing the work. So many people were misinterpreting this time, attempt. So they only write the question now and run away. That's the meaning of attempt. And now ICA Ghana have changed that to what? Answer all questions, no longer attempt. So still, even when they are saying answer all questions, people are not even answering all. They are still dodging some of the questions. Okay, so I'll pick ACIB. We are at 10. So let's go to ACIB 2. I'll pick last sentence mid-examiner, sorry, last sentence examiner's requirements is in, but I'll use 2018, 2017. Let me use 2017. Let's go. So imagine this is sentence of what? Bankers, Ghana, 2017. General observation. Some candidates number the question wrongly. Candidates are encouraged to number the question properly. Have you seen that? So when you read this one, it will remind that, oh, yesterday somebody not do the numbering well. And please, some of the exam questions, they don't give you your answer booklet. That is why normally it's happened that if they should show you your answer booklet, you marvel what some examiners have done to your script. In fact, it has been marked. In fact, anyhow, it's because of the arrangement, and you get all these from the previous sittings. So that's why previous sittings examiners reports are very important. So before you sit for any exam, make sure that you've read last sittings or previous sittings what examiners what comment. Take note of that. Now, some candidates continue to answer some of the questions in subsequent pages without clearly indicate where that we're continuing from the previous page. That's why always you have to write the question number on the top. A, B, continue. In the primary school, you write PTO, right? Please turn over. Have you seen? Over here, we are using the question numbers on the top. Thank God. They need to clearly separate points that are distinct. This is vital. This section is the most important thing. Now, if you put 3 points under one paragraph, we see them as just 1 point. Simple as that. So if you're writing a point, can you clearly separate them? You can use paragraph. You know how we normally do that? Imagine you're writing a point, and that point that you are writing, you have not, in fact, separated the point. Any term in that point considered to be just 1 point and mark them for you. You can break it down. You can break them down, separate them nicely. All this can be found from where? The examiner's comment. So let's go. Look at this. Some candidates do not show when they start a new point. So use paragraph. At this time, these are professional exams. If care is not taken, when you qualify right now, you'll be a finance director. So you must separate your point and then use paragraph, or sometimes use, that's why we use this kind of illustrations. Something like A, B, C, I, 1, 2, 3, to know that these 2 points and these 2 points are different. So number your point well. That's what the examiner wants. Number your point well. Your point, number them, so that they don't consider all your points as one. That's what they are telling us here. Candidates should clearly separate their points so that 2 points are not considered as what? As 1 point. Very painful. You thought you've given us all the 5 points. Meanwhile, we saw it as just 1 because all of them are crumpled in one statement. That's all. Some candidates write long, unnecessary introduction. This one, not only HIB examiners, every examiner complain about this. Some candidates write unnecessary introduction. All this goes on what? The preparation. If the preparation does not go on well, that's why I talk plenty. If the preparation go on well, you don't talk plenty. You go straight to the point. Straight to the point. We do not score points. Candidates should always start a new question on the first page. This one is something normal. This was not the case for some candidates. Observation on question 1. So that year, this observation that they made on question 1. So HIB, before you write your exam, make sure that you've gone through last sentence examiner's comments. We can make them available to you, question by question. You read them so that if the same question pop up, examiners repeat questions, especially questions don't do it well. They repeat it so that when they come back again, you can score well and then you move. Now let me go to Makola Law School or Ghana School of Law. So we shouldn't call them Makola Law School. Let's go. Let's also pick there and then let's go through. For degree, masters, and then the undergrad, for your own, you have to visit the lecturer or the course lecturer who will tell you the do's and don'ts in the exams. So that is that. Right after you enter the examination room, examination mode, and then that one is where you need it most. So I've not started the game. I'm now come to start the actual examination technique. What I've done now is pre-exams preparation. 3, what you must do before the exams. Now, I'm now going to walk you through drawing the exam right after looking for your index number, right after sitting down, right after receiving the answer booklet and the question booklet, right after writing your index number. I see you're going to steal somebody's money. Write your index number plenty. I see you're going to steal somebody's money in people's bank account. This time is your own. So why the plenty index numbers? All of them will pop up in. All of them for a purpose. So let me pick for that of Ghana School of Law, our exams 2 and C. That's the Ghana Bar Association exams. Let's also see their angle. And then ACCA can equally use the ICA Ghana's approach, basically the same. I think I'll pick ACCA to one of our exams, and then I move. Okay, so this is legal accountancy, October 2018, main exam marking scheme. This is Makola Law School. Let's go. These are the questions. I'm sure we have some of the team on the page. Let's go. In fact, usually the scheme don't contain the examiner's report. The examiner report is drafted separately. So let's see if we could get some and explain using that one. So again, in situations where you don't have chief examiner's comments, especially in the case of this, what do? You quickly go through the last sentence questions and make sure that you abide by what their solution. How we get that? So that you comply with the do's and don'ts in exams. How we get that? Okay. Now let me go to the ACCA finally. So we are going to ACCA. Because I know most of you have a plans of writing ACCA right after your first professional qualification. You may probably venture into what ACCA. So what are the do's and don'ts over there? Can I come and then do the same learning I'm doing there? No. What are the do's and then the don'ts over there too? Right after this, then I'll now zoom into the examination room. It's been the ACCA, ICA, SEMA exams room, what you have to do. And then we move from the game. Okay, so at this juncture, before I bring in the ACCA on, I'm going to omit the microphones for your first forms of questions to be dropped in. So now all the microphones, in fact, now you can omit the microphone and chip in all your answers. So kindly omit the microphone, and then if you have any questions, suggestion, any field that you want to inquire more, you chip them in. So kindly omit the microphone, and then let's hear yours. I chip in the ACCA section. So ACCA section. So kindly drop your questions in whilst I bring the ACCA section. So let's go. ACCA, where are you? Let me pick financial reporting, because most of us are related to financial reporting or accounting staff. So most of us are related to accounting staff. So let's go to ACCA 2015 December. So 2015 December, this is ACCA. Usually the examiner appendix is report. at the end of the section. So that is what you have to look out for. Good. So this is the guide. These are normally they do the scheme for marking previously. So here it tells you where the exam focus is. They have told you the marks, how they mark it, the marks they've allocated, so that next sitting, if they drop the same question to me, I'll know how I'm going to respond to that. So that is ACCA for you, ACCA. Now let me go straight to the main gate and enter into the examination. Enter into the examination. Good. Enter into the examination. So the examination room here, I'll do some few illustration with you by solving some few questions. By 4:30, they about should be able to wrap it up so that we can go to our main destination or work. So now let's go to the examination room. So here I'm assuming that you're walking straight. If it's Zenith or UPSC or ICA exam hall or Kofodia, or wherever you find yourself, wherever you write your exams. Now, in fact, before you enter the examination, can you go early? We beg you. Because if you don't go early, it will go against you. You know they are going to write the exams. That day, let all your attention, your everything to the exams. Please, don't use the early morning that you're supposed to drive there to learn. If you want to learn, go and learn at the center. Don't learn at home. Well, every 30 minutes you are driving. You don't know what's happening on the way. Okadaman can cross you. There'll be traffic, unexpected traffic. So go there, especially morning classes or afternoon classes. Go there very early. Walk nicely, enter the examination room. Look for your next number. Sit beside there. Usually for professional exam, they start giving you your question papers. The answer booklet first for you to write your index numbers and fill in the pages. Can you do that? Because if you fail to do that and they give you the question, that means as soon as you read the question, when the question arrives, we call it reading and working time. So now we are in the examination. Let's go to examination. So I've walked you through right from the house. So examination techniques: set off early, avoid late entry, avoid late entry. Do everything ethically possible to enter early. We beg you. You have paid for it. Don't let the exam time 1 minute crowd go. Be there, be there. In fact, even when you are not there, they are cheating you, and now that you are there. In fact, even when you are there, they are cheating. Now that you are not there, to be worse. Avoid late entry into examination room. Number 2, make sure that you have all your sets, everything. So remember that before you enter the examination room, you have all, in fact, all the instruments, all the sets that you need. What are the sets? Mathematical sets, ruler, long rule, any item that is allowed, prescribed for you to have for the exam, can you have it? Especially, this one is not a big deal. You carry your items along, your items, the acceptable ones, such as for your calculators, calculator, any, in fact, this one, some people do very well. So I can show you some. Can you find nice examination tool, examination bag? Some people have that. Yes, I'll apply for you. If you don't have, can you find one right now? Now, something like this, it's a bit okay. It's a container where at least you have pens inside. Every time there's pen inside, your examination ID cards are inside. Everything is inside, so that going to the exams, I take this one, pick this one like this. and then you get any other scientific calculator, you go. See that all the items will be in it. It's not like early morning to the exam, you're not looking for your calculator, you're not looking for your pen, you're not looking for your, in fact, please, gather especially your calculator you're going to the exams. Now, the calculator, if the calculator don't know you well, you can punch 2 to give you 3. You punch 5 to give you 7. So please, know that calculator in very well before you sit for the exam, so that when you punch 2, it's 2 that is coming. Sometimes the answer that you write on the question paper or answer booklet is not like the right answer, but because you saw it on the calculator, that's what you wrote. You wrote on the calculator, because when you punch it, your hand accidentally or punch a different answer, or the calculator display a different figure. Calculator brains are not the same. And that one, we must take note of that. That, oh, once I have some calculator, when I punch anytime my right is no. No. So take note. So all the tools, gather them a week before the exams. In fact, some of them can even send it to some places for them to prove over, in fact, prove over rate, do a whole lot of, in fact, anoint it very well. I'll begin that. Make sure that you have it before, not the examination day. Your calculator, if it's about scientific calculator, kindly get it. And if you're writing a professional exams, kindly make sure that you have this form of calculator. Let's go. Now, you should have examination bag, small one. That all examination things, anytime there's extra pens, extra calculator, extra, so that you not be stranded in the examination room. So you have your scientific calculator like this, plus this one at least, or you have a small portable bag. Maybe some of the examiners do not allow you to send back in the examination. Maybe they thought you've written something inside. So the things should be transparent. Get a transparent small bag that can contain rule, pencil. In fact, for those of you who are the banking sector, in fact, you have very nice, that one I have to clap for you, that one you do very well. Especially, those are the transfer section. Money transfer, you know, they normally give some small incentives to some bags. You can use that one, the small one for your exams. So let's take note of that. So now, I'm assuming that you've entered, yes, you've entered the examination room with your set of items, approved one. Please avoid sending all unapproved items to the examination room. We beg you, don't send any unapproved one. And a life danger, you know, when they see any unapproved, it's a sign that you've not prepared well for them. These are professional exams. If I'm not ready, don't go. This is an exam like maybe a friend will pass a paper. No. The invigilators are what? They are very what? They are what? So please make sure that you prepare adequately. Don't carry any foreign material to avoid any inconvenience. We beg you. We beg you. Don't let it be too late. Now, when they come out, sometimes I see you can't write exams for the next 2 years. You demand for writing exams, sometimes forever. You don't write any IC exams again. And write an attack on you. And anywhere write the exams, will come and then say that this guy, in fact, don't allow him to write the exams. No, anything like that. So avoid all this. Why can't we genuinely go to the principles or something? And this one is not even here. Here, we don't see much of this because most of them independently unique. But this is an adult class. This is not like they say WAEC. For WASI, it's common. WASI is very common. In fact, WASI is student, this calculator. They have 5 different types of objectives since I saw on the calculator. If you come and meet me at the front of the gate as a later, when I take your calculator, I just restart everything for you, order for clear and give it back to you. Sometimes if I don't touch your calculator, I said I'm a very wicked person. I just ask you, this is your calculator, right? Is it your own? You say yes. Well, I see, fine. Point, shift, then you point for me, then I see. Shift, point 9. It will come like this. Say clear. I say point 3 again, then you point. What do you see? You say, press the equal to 2 times. You yourself now you create your own calculator. So any apostle, then it becomes normal. That is all. That is. But over here for ICA, I'm going to show, is it worse? I'm going to tap on this calculator. You can't do that. So don't probably try any. Just go through the right procedure so that I've done the day. Some people have certificate, but they can never mention that because they know that they never work for it. The thing that you work for it, you toil all your blood. That one, if you hold it, in fact, like you really feel it. But while you pass through corner, many people cannot declare their income, cannot declare their wealth because they know that the source of the wealth is not legitimate. So pass the exams, come out, and your guilty conscience now tell that, yes, this exam is not there. I wrote it myself. I did everything myself. And then, in fact, I move myself forward. In fact, I congratulate myself. Then you move forward. So that is that. Now let's go. So now I'm assuming that you've entered the examination room. They have given you your answer booklet. Most of the professional exam, they'll give the answer booklet first. Yes, they are aware. You write your name as if you write your index number as if you're going to steal somebody's marks or somebody's loan or somebody's money. It's because they don't want your people to get missing. There are over 5,000, 2,000 scripts that they are marking. So if they don't write it consistently, if they ask you to just write your index number just once, professional exam don't use name. Why? Because they are trying to be independent. Maybe your name is Target. There's Target in your name. Then I'm also Target, and I'm marking your paper. By all means, I'll be biased. In fact, if your surname and my surname are the same, by all means, I'll be biased. If, for instance, somebody have done bad to me, and that person, I've stored the person's surname in my head, and happen to be your surname, you are in trouble. In fact, you are in trouble. If somebody have done bad thing, somebody, in fact, have done bad, and the person's surname is in my mind, don't forget about it. Or I know your surname, and I know that you are affiliated to a political party, which I don't belong to that political party. I know your surname because if I see Ato Ahoy, if I see Ahoy Group, if I see like some surname, I know that no, this surname is coming from this particular party or this group, this association, or this ethnic group, or this community that I don't like them. So that is why we don't allow you, because the best identity ever we can give to is your name. But because that your name, your surname, somebody bear the same surname among the team who's marking, so they'll be biased. So therefore, write your index number. Number, there's no examiner can use your number. No examiner can trace you their number. Simple as that. You lose your identity. That's why every university in Ghana, in fact, on this set, when you enter, they give you what? Index number, your real name, listen. And that index number goes through. But they don't want any bias. So take note and then please accept that for us. So now I'm assuming that you've written everything. You are done. Now let me go to the crucial stage. If you don't write those numbers or those index number plenty and they bring the question paper, you'll be in trouble. So please, an exam condition, when they give the answer booklet, start filling everything that you're supposed to fill on the answer booklet first, so that by the time they bring the question paper, anything goes onto the answer booklet is the answer, not your details. Please. Good. Now I'm assuming that you have done everything there. Now the question paper have arrived. Welcome the question paper. Now, first thing, when the question paper arrived, in fact, you must pray as if you have not learned anything. Yes. But things happened. Pray as if that you've not learned anything, not prepared, you've not even been to class before. Tell God has come and then, in fact, lead you, because sometimes you know too, and exam it will never come. Finish the exam right now, then you've written it. But meanwhile, we're able to produce that the same thing in the exams. So at least do that. Now let's go straight to the game. Secondly, right after that, every professional exam, there's reading time. This one, let's take it clear. Professional exams, so now that's the point number 3. There's reading time. Reading time. That reading time. So take that reading time. Careful. Reading time. Read all the questions. Please read all the questions. And I'll pick a sample here for us to illustrate. Read all the questions. Now, when you read all the questions, Some of your questions are 7, some are 5. I say Ghana, your questions will be 5 always. For ACIB, it depends. Some questions are 7, some are 8, and you select your 5. Don't worry. And then the reading time is what? 15 minutes. Please, I call it reading and planning time. It's a planning time. It's an examination plan. So reading and planning. So here, kindly plan. Let me walk you through how to do the exam planning. If you fail to plan examination, in fact, it's find very difficult because exams move by time. Because if you don't plan the time very well, by the time you realize your question 1 have taken 2 hours. Question 1, 2 hours. If the examiner double the marks for you, it left 1 hour for you to do the other one. How? Now, this side is very important. Let's take note. Here, plan your work. Plan simple means arrange the question in order, the one you want to solve. Arrange the question in order. So how? Let's go. So read all the questions. Please read all the questions. Some people, when they see question 1, a ball drop, so they will never think of the rest of the question. They'll start working until they get stuck. They now go and see which question they read that one as next. No, please don't do that. Read all the questions and select, arrange them in order. Arrange the question in order. Which order? Order of your ability to answer them. Order of ability to impress. The question that you can impress the examiner, put those questions first. The one that you can impress. Don't impress. Have you seen? Your first question must score 20/20, or 8/20, or 17/20. Don't come and put the question that you have no idea at first. It gives a bad impression about your write-up. Because if first question is okay, second question is okay, third question is okay, fourth question, even if it's not okay, we assume that it's okay and give you something. But if your first question is bad, second question is bad, third question is good, forget about your passing. So can you arrange the question well for us? Okay. Now, that reading time, please, if you fail, if you don't read all the questions, please, that reading time is not the time that you are going to read the entire scenario. 50 minutes are not enough. It's not the time you're going to read the entire scenario. No. Read only requirements under 15 minutes. So 5 questions. Question 1A, required. Briefly explain the concept of and the theories of throughput accounting. Okay. B, explain how throughput accounting is important. Just read the requirement and arrange them. Me question 1, I can do question 1. I can do question 2. I can do question 3. I can do question 4. Which one can I score 20/20? Hands down. Those questions should come first. The next, because your question 1 should be full. It should be your best. In fact, your well answered question at all. So that's what you must plan. So if you don't select question that you have deeper knowledge into it, in it, you start a question, but you cannot make any meaningful statement for us. And when you do that, please, this one is a human element. You can't take it away. You mark, you are tired. You mark, you are tired. What happened is, anybody that come and disturb you, you also disturb the person's life. That one is, and then after all, ACIB or ICA Ghana don't publish this, the script. They don't publish it out. So you don't see whether any examiner have what, in fact, have done something else to your paper. You don't see that. So please, and please again, make sure that you arrange the question according to your best shot, and then that's all. You are free to go. Then I've not even come to the exam, right now the exam, so I'm still under the reading. When you go and read the exams, this one, everybody take notes. Let me take ICA Ghana for instance. Let me take ICA Ghana for instance. So I'm going to project one of our questions, and then go through. Have you seen here? Reading time and planning. Well, look, our examiner is very good. Say planning. Plan the work. 15 minutes. Working time, 3 hours. That's the actual working time. So first thing, when I go to the exams, you see something like this. So I'll go straight to the requirement. A, explain the principles and the reasons for the use of equity accounting in preparing consolidated financial statement. 3 marks. Okay, so question 1A. There's a B here, consolidation. Question, and then the requirement. Prepare consolidated statement of financial position. Okay, console balance sheet. Wow, my interest, my favorite, console balance sheet. Console balance sheet. Console balance sheet. Okay, that's good. Number 2, read the requirements. First, requirement. Prepare adjusted income statement, partnership, for partners current account, or prepare partners current account. All of this. So you must arrange your question like this at the exam condition. If I were to answer 5 questions, my best question. Me, for instance, normally I start from the back. Normally they hide the easy question at the back, unless the question 1 is clear. So I'm doing question 1, A, B, C. And from there, I'll go to question 3, A, B, C. From there, I'll go to question, in fact, let me go and answer question 1. They say it's compulsory answer, I don't know, mind me. So let me answer question 1. From there, write this at the back of the question paper. Write this at the back of your question paper. Then I'll answer maybe question 2. Then I do 4. Then I'll come and I'll answer my next question. Question 4. That's all. That's my selecting. But I've selected my questions already. So now, sometimes here, 10 marks, I can do this 10 marks. This one is another 5 marks. This one, 5 marks, I cannot do it. Doesn't matter. But this one, I can only do this 10 marks. I can't do this. This one I can't do. I can't do. In that order. And there's some condition. You're supposed to add all of them. When you add all the one that you can do, correct? Please don't overscore yourself. If you do that, rather bring your actual performance down. If you add all the marks sincerely, and you get, let's say, between, there are 2 things. In fact, if you get between 50 up to 55, in fact, you are in danger zone. You are in what? Danger zone. Danger zone. In fact, if you get between 49, 40 up to 49, we call it emergency. They have to rush you to theater. Now, if you get 0 up to 40, in fact, that one is it condemned? That one, just don't write anything. Tell them that you divide the paper, they did not approve it, so you are going back. They are not writing that it. Now, if you put all of them together and you are getting somewhere, even 45, you can still pass the paper. I believe in this too. You can still pass the paper. Yes, you can still pass the paper. How? So use 2 hours, 2 solid hours to answer the part that you can do. Usually, most students spend much time on what they cannot do, which they end up consuming more time. So please, if you know that you can only answer 45 marks, it's far better. So you start. My question 5. A, I do it. B, I do it. C, I leave a pothole and go and come back and come and fill the pothole. So within 2 hours, I'm able to answer what I can do. Then the rest, we call it hunting for marks. You now come and hand for marks well. Now when you do as if you're working or not working, you pick the figures, you perm them, you multiply as if you are one time you're multiplying, another time you're dividing, another time you are adding up. That is all. Write them vertical order. In fact, no shortcut. By the time you realize the examiner will mark and give you some text so that every question has been answered by you. Because, and please, for those people that also answer questions, they say answer 5 questions, me I'll answer 3. Because I trust my 3. Okay. Me I'll answer only 4. I trust my 4. Okay. Me I'll answer only 3. Now, I see exams. One of the settings, a candidate, question 1, is score 20/20. Question 3, that the same candidate score 17. That's all, not answer any question again. Why? This is May 2017 exams I'm talking about, just recently, May 2017 exams. So in total, the person answered what? 37% out of 100. That's all. How on earth 2 questions pass you? How? I don't know whether maybe you answered it and then the thing got missing, something like that. But 37. Meanwhile, 20 marks. No easy to get 20 marks on one question and 17 out of 20. So it tells you that that person never planned the work. He thought you're going to answer only question 1. So please, there's a time limit. So you need a plan, adequate plan, and stick to your plan. Some people who do this plan, they will never. In fact, no wonder they will do a timetable, but they don't follow the timetable. It's like that. Any plan, kindly follow your plan. Oh, I hope you get that. Okay, so I'm done with the planning. So this is how I was walking you through the examination. Good. So now, after you have planned, where do you start from? Good. So after the planning, don't forget that exam questions. Let me read something clear to you here. Let's go to the ICA's own. Check something here. You see, the examiner wrote reading and planning time, working time. They never said thinking time. So thinking is not allowed in exams. We beg you. Thinking is not allowed in exams. Anytime you start thinking on a particular question, then that starts, in fact, that time, no, the failure is calling you small, gradually. Because thinking will take the time. Hey, and how? Target, how? If I don't think, how do I produce the answer? Yes, you understand. Do the thinking whilst you're preparing for the exams. So when the question appears, you know how to solve it already, just put the thing in and then go. Hand for marks and then the rest. So don't, here I'm saying that don't just get stuck on a particular question. If you get stuck on a particular question, please move on. Finish all the questions you can do first before you get stuck. Some people, free marks, easy marks are there. They will not carry that one, no. They will go and tackle the difficult one to just challenge the examiner that they know how to solve questions far better than the examiner. No, not at all. Not at all. So that is how you have to do. So you start the work. So I'm assuming I've started the work like this. Imagine I'm going to solve this question. Do the requirement. Now, I'll officially welcome you to this particular principle. So now, when you start the actual work, now let me go to reading time. So I'll talk about reading time. Now the working time, what you must do during the working time. The working time, what you have to do is this. Working time.
Yes.
Are we safe? Yes, we are safe. Working time. That's the actual time you're going to work. Please, it's not for thinking. Let me write it here. It is not meant for thinking, not for thinking. Or over reading overreading the questions. But if you can answer, you answer no everything. Reading the questions. But for what? For actual presentation solution. So first you must, this is where you have to adopt the RAT approach. So the principle must adopt here is called RAT, or the RAF approach. So official, let me introduce you to what you call the RAT, or the RAF approach. When you say RAT, target is saying that before you start any exam question, before you write anything on a piece of paper, read the requirement first. And I'll walk you through a series of questions why you must read the requirement first. Now, the requirement will help you in 2 to 3 diverse ways after reading the requirement. 1, it will stimulate your cell. Anytime you learn, you add additional cells to your body. Those cells, they are responsible to remember, to produce whatever you've learned. So if you learn something today and tomorrow you can't remember, that means those cells are dead. You must reactivate them by revising, by practicing. Those cells don't eat food. They don't eat normal food. The only food they eat is practice. That's all. So read the requirement first. Here, to activate your cells. 2, to avoid what? Deviation. To avoid deviation. Or, in fact, some people, they are allergic to some question. Me, this question, I will never answer it. Me, this question, I will never answer it. So friends online, those questions that you say you will never, sure, because you have no idea, you never studied it. It's okay, it's fine. So be sure that the question you are solving is the one that is within your interest. If I have not read the question, please do not start anything. So for instance, question 1, here. The mere fact you see financial statement does not always mean you are going to calculate ratios. Not always means console. When I see financial statement like this, it does not mean it is consolidation. It is not automatic ratio. It's not automatic business valuation. Until I read the requirement, I will never know what they're asking me. So go straight. Prepare consolidated balance sheet. Oh, this one is consolidation, not my life. I go. Let's go to question 3. Good. Question 3. The following trial balance related to Boafuyena Limited. Boafuyena is true. Boafuyena. This is a trial balance. Now, the mere fact you see a trial balance does not always means you're going to prepare P&L and balance sheet. No. Go straight to the requirement. In fact, the requirement is not coming clear. It's not visible. Let me go down and pick a different question. Let me go to November 2010. Question 3. So the do's and don'ts in the examination, we've started the examination technique. So you have entered the examination room. Great. So the mere fact you see trial balance here of Enidaso, it does not mean that you're going to prepare always final accounts. So read the requirement. It says prepare statement of comprehensive income and statement of changes in equity for Enidaso Limited for the year ended December 2010. Prepare statement of financial position. Step 2, basis of preparation, and 3 accounting policies applied here. Have you seen that? So when I read this requirement, my cells will be reactivated. I'll start remembering, first requirement, comprehensive income. It's not the same as P&L. Oh yes, it's P&L. P&L was the first item, sales. Second item, cost of sales. But if I don't do that and I start reading this, You find very difficult. What are you answering? So please, before you start answer any question, make sure that you have read the requirement. Sometimes the requirement has nothing to do with the scenario given to you. And that is a side. And in fact, that's the main reason I organize this program. Some scenario has nothing to do with the requirement. Let me give you one. Recently, you wrote a mock. Let me go there. Both IC and ACIB wrote a mock recently. Let me pick one of the mock questions and then you see that. And I'll tell you why we do that. You know, we do that to take some part of your time away. You know, some people are very analytical. They are skeptical. They are very sensitive. Every information I want to analyze in examination. Why? Are you a football analyst? Every information you want to analyze it. They don't know the difference between vital information and information that a mere comment. So they will even sometimes forget about the vital information and focus on the mere comment. So read the requirement careful. Now, check this question. Question 1. Required. Draft a memo to address the request of the managing director by discussing the following. Meaning, purpose, limitations of conceptual framework. It has nothing to do with this now. Nothing here. So right after the requirement, I can even drop the memo and start talking about what meaning of conceptual framework. Meaning, purpose of conceptual framework. Go straight. Then right after the requirement, then you move on. Now, drive at the hotel, look at all this now. Plenty stuff. Plenty stuff. The truth of the matter is that nothing in here, you need to answer this question. I intentionally wrote a lot of stuff here. I intentionally wrote what? A lot of stuff, a lot of issues here. So that's now here. Go through the requirement. As an accountant or consultant, draft a report to discuss the composition and the need of the following corporate governance structures as requested by the authorities. So what's the need? And what are the composition of what? These bodies. And you know, they just write them for us and you are done. So here, the requirement is very, very, very important. Okay? So make sure that you read all the requirements before you move on to prevent what? Allergy. Without a requirement, in fact, imagine you started, you are reading this scenario. And then usually the scenario to be so interested, either confusion or interested, one of them. They say Brabada Hotel is a private hotel chain located in integral part of Ghana within West Africa sub-region. Brabada has experienced strong growth in the last 15 years as a result of what? Experience and dedicated what? Management team led by the CEO of Mr. What? T for Target, who has been in a hospitality industry for over 40 years. Wow, the guy is guru in hotel management and leisure. Although Ghana has highly undeveloped tourism industry, the country is blessed with good climates and the presence of rich culture and natural environment. Brabada Hotel or Brabada's competitive advantage is built on its highly competitive pricing strategy. And this has been significantly, and this has been a significant factor in its current position as a leading hotel brand in Ghana and West Africa sub-region. Brabada normally attract those travelers seeking no-frills accommodation at a reasonable price, and as such, it is referred to as what? A budget hotel chain. Every Brabada hotel room provides an ensuite bathroom, TV, free Wi-Fi, internet access, and each hotel offers a complimentary breakfast service. However, Brabada Hotel also provide additional services such as what? Bars, restaurant, or leisure facility. Every Brabada Hotel has a similar layout and design and are mostly located at what? Airport, city center location. You see, All this story has nothing to do with the question. Nothing. So if you waste your time analyzing those ones, rather come here and then has nothing to do with it. Most of the questions are like that, especially those questions will give you only few questions relate. So now, if you read the requirement and it's asking you something from the case, it will tell you. If you read the question and there's something coming from the case, they will tell you. If you read the question and it's not coming from the case, you know. Good. It's saying that surprise in Belvedere Hotel is not listed. It's not listed on any stock market, both local and abroad. As a result of this, executive management has received a lot of pressure for the company to be listed on the stock market due to its recent expansion and wide operations. Following this external influence, the management team has filed to be listed on Ghana Stock Exchange. The authorities of Ghana Stock Exchange have requested that Belvedere Hotels should establish an effective and independent board of directors with the following subcommittees: audit, remuneration, nomination, and risk management. Mr. T is not happy at all about the request of the authorities, since the company will be subjected to an external scrutiny. Besides, he does not seem to understand the need of a board of directors and all these subcommittees. And since the company has been managed successfully in the past years, current and then the future period as well. Mr. T further described the request as a crashing blow and therefore will lead to a brush with death. You know these stories? In fact, these are the questions that we set for coming the mock. This was the mock questions for some group. Agreed. ACIB mock questions for a group. Good. No, planning time, 3 hours. Reading time, 15. Hey. Reading and planning, 15 minutes. Working time, 3 hours. Good. Now, so we just want to reduce your working time indirectly. But most they don't see that. And they take, in fact, they are happy going through this before they come and read the requirements. Can you read the requirements? If you need something from the case, go straight and go and pick it up. That's all. So this is a question that an examiner wrote to, and when they finish, they come to deviate in the requirements and ask them something different. So let's take note of that. Okay. Now let me continue with the structure on how to answer exam questions. So right after the requirements, that's the first thing you have to do. Some of the requirements require computation, and those ones set the format. So let me pick another one that require computation. When the requirement require computation, you set the tone. For example, let me go to the ICA. They say prepare a statement of comprehensive income. This is a requirement. Question number what? This is a question number 2. So an exam condition right after the requirement. Right after the requirement. I repeat, right after the requirement. Let's go there. An exam condition. Prepare a statement of comprehensive income and a statement of changes in equity for Enidaso Limited for the year ended. Prepare financial position. So this one, right after the requirement, I'll set the tone. So I'll go. After the examiner, solution. My first page, let's assume that this is my page numbers. Or we are our last page. I can't write again. We have 3 minutes to go. Hey, I write the trade protocol, the name of the company, very important. And it also write the name of the company, the requirement, copy the requirement here. Reporting currency, the first one. Underline it. Go to B, the same thing. Go to C, the same thing. By the time you finish, we mark the headings. We mark the headings. So If write the name correct, so it is so written correct, one tick for you. The requirement correctly written, one tick for you. Currency, reporting currency, one tick for the trade purpose. Now, the same thing applying to the balance sheet and changes in equity. I don't know if you do all, you must get at least between 8 up to 9 ticks free of charge.
Ada tayo
And I think can be 0.25 for ICA Ghana. ACIB can go up to 0.24. So a tick range from where? 0.25 up to 0.4. For ICA Ghana, it can be lower. Even if you have 8 ticks times 0.25, what do you get? Who can tell me? Can you do the computation for us? Who can do the computation for us? 8 ticks times 0.25. Friends online.
Hello, target.
Yes, please. This what do you get? Hello.
I'm on you.
Is that
Hey, my calculator is going.
8 times 0.25? 2, eh? Yes, 2 marks. Yes, 2. So at least you have not started anything, score yourself 2 marks free of charge. If you have not scored between 48, 49, and 50 before, you will not value the powerful, in fact, 2 of what? 2 marks. Even half can change the story. So don't leave any free mark for granted. Any free mark for granted. Good. Now let me go back to my rat and rough approach. So requirements are very important. So if we normally come to most of my classes, before we solve any question, I read the requirement first because to avoid deviation. If you start telling me stories or if you give me a financial statement, I will not be able to tell you the exact thing I should provide or I should do unless you restrict me. There's an adage like this. It's a local proverb. So let me speak the local language. Sorry for our international students on the page. I will translate when I'm done. I'll do direct translation, better when you understand. There's an adage that there's a man called Mr. Isifu. He lives in a certain village. The man, in fact, is very, we don't say wicked. His own is more than that. It's me. So somebody sat down and said that, oh, say Eka, Mr. Isifu, ni kenke. You saw somebody go and buy kenke. As soon as you saw the kenke, now you started preparing pepper, hot pepper, and preparing fish. If because of that kenke, please just wash your pepper away. She's come to mash it and do mash cake. She never need, but he never need pepper. That is the concept. And that's the idea that I built on to develop this approach. So read the requirement first so that you don't deviate. The mere fact that you see kenke does not mean that always kenke must move with pepper. Hot pepper and what? And fish. No. Kenke can move with stew. Kenke can move with what? With soup. Kenke can be what? Mash, and we call it mash cake. Simple as that. So if you see a trial balance, never denounce that this trial balance is always for P&L. This finance is always for P&L. No. Beg you. So take note of that. Then can I move on from the requirement to the additional information? Additional information. Most of the schools or institutions call it footnote. It's very important. And here I put a strong warning. Here, warning. I place a strong warning here. That's read all the footnotes adequately 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. Fast and slow. But the first one very fast, the second one rather is slow. And that one we're actually solving it. Now, if you read the footnote, 1 footnote more than 2 times, like 3 to 4 times, that means there's a danger somewhere. There's a trouble somewhere. There's what? A trouble somewhere. So let's take note of that. Great. Then you go straight. First, very fast. Second, you're only, in fact, the first one, it's fast because we're identifying where it will affect. And then, secondly, that one you're actually going to solve it. So we're about to solve the work itself. Please, if I've not read all the footnotes, never and never write any figure on your answer booklet. Why? The figure that you thought is free is never free. It's never free. If the examiner wants to play a smart game, he will make sure that the last footnote will affect sales revenue. Imagine you have been comprehensive income and your sales revenue is wrong. You realize it when you are reading the last footnote. What will happen? Imagine what will happen. So please and please again, read all the footnotes before you start working. The figure that you thought it is free, it's never free until you've gone through all the footnotes and be adequately sure. Other than that, you come and do this thing for us. If you're doing this one, the cancel one is not cancel, confirm, not cancel. This one, somebody wrote the exams like this. Let me go to page 20. The person wrote the exams. He wrote I said, no, this one is wrong. Then you cancel it like this. And then you move to the next page to start all over. Then you realize that no, what he has cancelled is the correct one. What do you do? If you are that person, what do you do? What is cancel? In exams to answer booklet, as soon as you cancel like this, let me be practical. Let me be very, very practical. When a student writes, maybe the boy, the cat, realize that it is wrong, and you cancel like this. Every examiner, when they pick the script, they use red pen to cancel again so that they don't mark it. When you cancel. So this guy came back again right here in capital letters. Please. The cancel one is not cancel. Confirmed, not cancel. Have you seen? The cancel one is not cancel. Confirmed, not cancel. That means what he has canceled, he said that to not cancel. So that is it. Yeah, he's even confirming it for us, not cancel. All these are caused by what? Inadequate reading of instructions, examination instructions. Very important. The mere fact that you saw the same question in class does not mean that the footnote or the instructions are going to be the same. Exams, you are looking for those evidence of those who understand or those who obey simple instruction. That's why sometimes you might know very well, but how to write it. However, that is a part 2 of this. This one is a series, a continuation. The part 2 will be, that one, the part 2 will be specific. That one I will take Makola Law School. Only your exams. ICA Ghana, only your exams. ACIB, only your exam. That one we call it what? Intervention. And it's becoming soon before your exams. For March sitting for Makola Law School, your own is ongoing. Yes. For ICA Ghana, we'll publish the date out. It will be in this March. 3rd week from 20th, 15th, 20th, up to the end of March. That's for ICA Ghana, your own. ACIB, your own is around 12th of April. That one specific. We only do justice to your game. So that is that. Now let's go back and continue our. So the footnotes are very important. When you are done, then you scan to the trial balance or the financial statement given to you. So give you a financial statement or a trial balance. You scan. Now, here you scan through for two items, usual and unusual. What is usual items? Items that are common, items that you are familiar, items that in fact, when you see them, you say yes. And you say yes. When you write exams, and then you open the question, you saw the first item, yes. In fact, the thing is there. In fact, the thing I learned last night is there. You put the question now, in fact, you open, yeah. Then you take the spectacle. Maybe you're not seeing what. No, this one, I like to take the nose mask. Like, I'm not seeing that thing. Whoa. I'm not sure this is my question. Now, scanning through the trial balance will let you know the usual and unusual stuff. Every exam question, there must be what? Shock. I call them shock, unusual, surprise. The examiner might surprise you, but I have the good news for you. If you want to avoid surprising exams, you can write the exam, you finish all the questions, the entire question you answered, you've answered them before. That is a professional exam. That's how a professional exam must be. ACIB, ICA Ghana, ACC, all the questions you're going to write on the answer booklet. It must be the question that you must what answer them before. Simple as that. How? Now, in scanning through the trial balance, the usual item, in fact, pick it and move. Imagine you've seen sales revenue. Always you have tax sales. So if you see sales in exam conditions, is it a big deal? Not a big deal. Now, my challenge now is the unusual. In fact, the unusual items that you see, I call them surprise. Now, you get a lot of unusual items if you don't consider this principle. Remember this principle? One known is never equal to one unknown. However, 5 known they are now equal to what? 1 unknown. Now you are type that you love solving question. All the exam question will never be a surprise to you. Why people are saying that this question I've never seen before. Meanwhile, it's a question that you've been solving every day. Wow. Where people are complaining that this question, where the examiner got it from? Meanwhile, you have the question. How do you get that? So please, let's develop that concept. So you know that all my principles are interrelated. They depend on the other. So you need this principle to be able to fit well into this. Other than that, everything that question becomes new to you. And that in that case, your chance of passing is very low. If all the questions are becoming low, like new. Hey, even the question you have an idea, look at the marks that you are getting. Now that you don't have any idea, they are new questions. How? Even where to start from become an issue. And that one, I'll pick them individual, where to start from. So have you seen how I've studied the game? Pre, during the exams and post, right? Good. Then I'll pick them one after the other. So this is the concept and this is the analysis that you must go through. I don't take too much of your time. And then lastly, we must pay attention to the action verbs. The action verbs. Action verbs that they use in the exams. Very important. Action verbs that they use in the exams. Let's take maximum attention. The one I'm done, I think I'll provide a pro forma for every exams and I'll pick sample. When you say action verb, here with the action verb, we are just saying that the verb the examiner have used, explained, discuss, outline, In fact, briefly, concise, report, memo, define. All these words are not the same. So we don't expect you to write the same when I ask you for explanation. And they are doing the same thing as discussion and the same thing as definition. So you must understand these action verbs very well. Now, when they say, for example, define. In fact, when examiners say define, that means when the standardized version, standardized or standard meaning, not what you know, we beg you, define asset. So they will ask you items that they have a standardized definition, acceptable definition, define asset, define this. That means they want word by word from the original, don't change it. So you see, they ask you definition and now giving us explanation. Do we mark it for you? No, not even mark you at all. Total deviation. So let's understand the action verb. Now, there will be documents coming out. We call it examination guide. Examination guide. When that document comes out, all these action verbs will be explained. Everything we've done today will be articulated in it. Plus, what you're going to do at the intervention will be articulated. We call it examination what? Guide. So that is TEG. So that is the tech. So target examination guide will be in very soon to guide your exams. You know, originally I am into questions. Yes, I am into questions. Questions. Both producer and then solution. And then solution generator. So how to answer exam questions. They are the ones that, and then there are things that I have used and it has really helped. It has really helped. At the right time, at the appropriate time, I'll be telling you testimonies of this method, this approach, and it's the best. It's really the best. You prepare and the exam condition to you put yourself together. You can prepare very hard, about the D-Day for the exam, you cannot be able to what? Express it well for us. And that one, you've done post 90. That is why I pick it from where? Preparation to the examination room. How big is that? Good. I barely have 25 minutes to go, and I pick some few pro forma for questions. So any exam that you go, any question they ask you, there must be a pro forma aside the action verb that they use, the action verb that they use. Discuss. Discuss means they want, in fact, here it must be interactive, as if you are discussing with the examiner. So here you can even be chipping in rhetorical question. You ask question, you answer it yourself. That's the discussion. Here's the question. So can this one give a revenue? Of course, no, because it cannot give revenue. Can this one be like this? No. Like that is discussion. But here when you ask discussion raw, it's said to be like this and it to be like that. Like they don't feel, the examiner don't feel the discussion aspect. So any mark, professional mark left for, you lose that mark. For instance, I set a question here. This particular more question that I articulated. Where is the more question? Now, listen, this more question that I articulated. All this plenty stuff that I wrote here. I was there and then one story came to mind. That's okay. Let me start writing a story. Then I put the story there. That's okay. Let me ask this question. Now, realize that they say, look at the mark. Presentation and professional mark, 2 mark. The actual mark is 8, making 20. Some examiners hide their professional mark. They don't show it. So you don't see it at all. So that 20 marks that you see, not all the point, not everything 20 marks. So it includes professional. It includes presentation. It's good, in fact, logical presentation, logical order, how you arrange your thoughts, how you arrange the answers. Sometimes all your points are correct, but misarrangement will cause you to score nothing. All the points, they are adequately correct. That is why if the points are correct, then why the examiner mark it down? That means you have not what arranged or present the point professionally. These are professional exams. Simple as that. So you must go through all this and then adequately be granted, because these exams are professional exams. One, it's expensive, two, time consuming, three, difficult. So three things: your money, your time, and when your friends are chilling at Saturday, look at today is holiday. People are chilling. Look at what we are doing. Look at what you are doing. Ghana, in fact, today is Ghana's, in fact, holiday, biggest holiday, Independence Day. You're supposed to go and chill. Look at what you are doing. Have you seen? So if you are not chilling, like the other friends who have all the days to chill, then go by the standardized format. Go by the approved way. That one, you can only do that when you solve a lot of questions. Standardized question. Standardized question. So that's why we normally prepare more questions. But honestly speaking, studies have proved that only few students like mock. Many people don't like mock. But that's the sure way to come out with their shortcomings so that we deal with them before the exams. Honestly speaking, some lecturers don't also mark more questions. That one is true. That one is true. I'm not talking to myself. That one is true. Some lecturers don't mark more questions. But I'll come and discuss all your mock questions with you. I'll come and discuss all the mock questions. Yes. So try it. Even personally, after writing that mock, you realize that no, there's some question was disturbing. This question I thought I know it about, but that's really, this one, if you exam, it will be something else. And it will surprise you that the mock, how you perform in the mock, is going to translate towards your final exams, end of term exams. Totally. So write a lot of mock to improve your skills, your writing skills. The writing skills. Write mocks to improve that. Personal mock. Time yourself 3 hours. Sit down and solve. Let the phone, all forms of distraction be aside, because this one, you have invested your money, your time, your leisure. People are chilling. Today, people are chilling. But look at what we are doing here. I think for us, they're chilling there, like they've taken from us. We are anti-chilling. No. It's not like you're anti-chilling. There's something you have to achieve. When I achieve that, after I go and chill. So if I've denied chilling, then it means that make sure that you get, so that there's no postpone your chilling, because if you deny it too much, you can't chill again. Now you get a certificate, you become old. No, old people don't chill. It's the youthful state that you have to chill. So use your youthful state to get all the certificates. Then at the latter part, now you can't even chill again. Youth, that's where when you chill is nice. You meet your friends, like, not like our type. Our type, they don't mind us. For some of us, that one is not part of, it's not in our blood. So if the chilling inside your blood, you go at the youthful stage, you chill, well. But you say now you're going to learn. Then that means you have to now invest more in it, invest your time in it. Now let's go. Let me quickly be wrapping up. So now I've talked about all of this. Then I think at the usual classroom and the intervention grounds, kindly note this. I will be doing something like actual question solving. The actual question solving will be like this. I think that side is what most often you need. How to arrange your answers. So for instance, let me pick one randomly before I'll end the game. I barely have 5 minutes to go, and then I'll end soon. So imagine you are the one writing this question. They say write a memo. So first thing, write a report, draft a report. First thing, the format of the report. Don't, in fact, do not, in fact, underestimate it. So format of report. So if I don't see the format of the report, that 2 marks, I'll never give it to you. If you don't write a report, so all those who answer this mock, who refuse to write the report, taking the report format, especially this particular question, many did not write it. This one is memo. Those that refuse to write the memo is start from where? In fact, from to date, subject, introduction, and you go. If I don't see this, forget about that 2 marks I put here. I'll never give it to you. I've seen that. presentation. How to not that you don't know, you know, but you feel like some of the parts are not important. You rather pick the important ones out, and then the ones that we don't need, like the examiner said, unnecessary introductions that would not fetch any marks. Good. So the format, and then when you take each of them, meaning how many points you must raise, purpose, how many points, limitations, how many points, and then which point is bigger, what is the body, what's the conclusion. Every writer must have introduction and conclusion. How we get it? So there must be introduction, body, and conclusion. You must see all this in your right, especially if it is something like this, a memo, something like discussion. Those ones come with like extra duties, you know, like explain. If I ask you something, question like this, let's go down. Question like this. In line with IAS 10, event after reporting that explain. This one they say explain in your own words, explanation, action verb, explain in your own words. How you understand it. That's enough explanation. How you understand. So we don't expect your explanation to be the same as somebody's explanation, but I know the answer must be correct. Simple as that. So explanation. And then take note of all the conjunctions, the add up. And if you see and, so you say, explain what an adjusting event and non-adjusting event after balancing dates. So that's the first point, your explanation, non-adjusting, adjusting event. That's what you must tell us. Here, I'm not interested in open introduction. This is not a memo. This is not a report. So if you come and introduce yourself, you come to introduction, I will not mind you at all. That introduction is not needed here. This is unnecessary word introduction. Go straight and explain to us, no introduction. Then they say, and show how each could be accounted for. So now, after writing, this one should be like this. Let me go and provide a pro forma, how to solve this question. Now, I don't have any place to clean. Okay, let me clean this side. To solve this question, first of all, you must write adjusting events, then you explain. What's it about? So maybe 1 or 2 sentences. Come to accounting treatment. One sentence. You are done. Come and pick non-adjusting events. Separate points. Don't put them in one paragraph. The examiner will give us just one and give you 1 mark instead of 5 or 10 marks. Pick non-adjusting events. I think this is what we're supposed to be doing in class. Non-adjusting what? Event. Then you tell us the explanation. Then you go to accounting treatment, different points. By the time you finish, at least point 1 mark, point 2, point 3, and that 3, you're making 6. Whichever marks I'm looking for, I'll get it. I'll be get that. So that is how we answer exam questions. Exam questions are not to be answered like the way you've read it in a textbook. No, please. How you have read in the textbook, that one is the point. In the textbook, you only have the point. And the exam condition, the examiner will rather give you what? The question, the requirement. I'll be get that. So explain the role and objective of the following bodies. The same show. You must explain the roles, the functions of the IFRS Foundation first. Then you come to the objective clearly, point by point. Separate them. Don't add 2 points together as if the examiner is in your mind. If the examiner is in your mind, he will never mark it correct because he did 1 point, all the 2 points as 1. So don't assume that the examiner understands. No. Examiner does not understand your write-up. So make it clear for him to get it. I'll be get that. So that is how we answer what? Exams questions. That's how we answer exam questions. So on this note, I think we are getting to the tail end of the game. Let me pause and then ask questions your contributions and then your suggestions so far, then we'll move on. I think the part 2 of this program will come off when we reach something like that one. I'll do it individual. So it will be like the individual form. The individual, meaning that one I'll do it. I'll not group all the professional. I'll not do that. I'll do ICA separately, ACCA separately, ACIB separately. That's the intervention. So when it comes off, you can prompt us. First online, I'll post something on your screen for you. Me, I supposed to do that. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, can you subscribe and then get a lot of videos? Our videos are there. And then get it for us whilst I'm waiting for questions. So can you chip your questions in? Can you go to the YouTube? So let's all go there. Imagine you want to go to YouTube. You want to search for we have a lot of videos, especially accounting. So for those who have no idea about YouTube channel, can you try it? And then you'll be blessed. Once this time around is question solving before I end the game. Question. Contribution. So when you come here, just type YouTube. Press enter. When it comes, search for target professional consult. When it arrives, search for target professional consult. So search for target professional consult. You will not even finish typing it and it will come. Target. Have you seen this advert? That's our this thing. Okay, so have you seen it's in now? Good. You don't even finish typing. So let's type target. Target. I'm not done, but I have it here. So tap on it like this. Target professional consult. When it comes, first thing you have to do, you scroll down, locate our name. Can you subscribe? Very necessary. You subscribe for us like this. And it's very necessary you subscribe. After doing that, turn off the notification button or like this. You are free to go. Finally, click on our name, Target Professional Consult. And this side, only you can access it. Yes, I mean only you can access it. Try it right now to come for you. Any other person cannot access it like this. I'll tell you why it's like that. Yes, we've intentionally done like that. Go to playlist. We have arranged the topics for you. Which subject are you learning? Very soon we'll be uploading all the other subjects, all the professional subjects. So if you're learning financial reporting, it's been ICA, ACCA, CIMA, CPA, whoever wants financial reporting, don't worry yourself. Just click here. Click on financial reporting. FM, your own will come very soon. Financial management and taxation, public sector, all of you. And then finance. In fact, we are in your own. We've started shooting them, so it will come up. Now, which standard do you want to learn? I want to learn event after reporting per year. Click on it like this. When you click on it like this, you start. All the standard will come here. Oh, you have only 4. Start from part 1, part 2, part 3 in that order, and you are fine. So, all the topics. If you search, you can't find your topics. Can you send me a message? I'll quickly send it to you. All of them. Any standard you want to learn, you are here. Now, for that of ACIB, we are doing ratios, right? Interpretation of financial statements. Here's it. You click on this one like this. Interpretation of financial statements. Just gonna get a very nice, comfortable chair. Yes, but I don't understand. Why you didn't add that on the old video like this? Let's go. So that's the part 1, part 2, part 3. I have a lot of them here.
Welcome to today's edition.
Please,
we are doing question.
Can you forgive us? Some of the videos now, I should have I showed them long ago when the style or the devices were not up to standard like this.
Welcome you all to today's
This one,
edition of the
you have
class.
to laugh small. How we get that?
My name is Fred. You can call me Target.
So
Your tutor. Okay.
and then you do yourself justice. Some of them will solve the question. The same note that we use. The same note that we use. So can you do that for us? So I'll share something on the page for you. What I'll show on the page is just the channel link on Zoom. So you can just tap it on
Welcome
Zoom.
to today's edition. We are doing question 3.
Good. So all the topic for ACIB, some of your topics are in the management accounting. So imagine you're doing management accounting. Go back to the playlist again. And then a section. I think I need to show you this. I have a lot of things that people have not exploited. Like a lot of things I've stored here. Man accounting, some of the ACIB programs, you get them from man accounting. So that is the all the topics. And here we use standardized question. And here I can say that it's from ACIB and ICA Ghana question that we use solely. ACA, but ACCA, ICA, and ACIB. So it's for all of you. Once your topic apply, that's all. Now there's something I want you to take note of that many people have not utilized it. I did some series, we call it the drops. Man accounting drops, and then financial reporting drop, and interventions. This is ACIB interventions. I have how many videos there? 16. All interventions. So far, every year intervention that I do, I come and post them here. Only last year that I've not posted them. Every year's intervention, both ACIB and ICA Ghana, I come and post them here. At least for those who not attend our class, can also get it. So you can even see the structure of ACIB reporting July 2020 exams.
Good.
All of them are here.
Good. Welcome back again to the session. Sorry for the
everything has been recorded
yes,
for you.
I was doing some small analysis under the question and the capital reduction. That's the A.
If you have any question, kindly ask before we close the chapter of today's edition. If you see anything useful, kindly tell your friend so that when the next one comes, they can also come and participate. If you see anything unuseful, I was talking plenty, no slides. Kindly come and don't tell anybody, please, we beg you. Come and tell me that Target, this idea is not well explained, so that I improve on it, so that next batch they will not come and meet this thing. Okay. So any issue, kindly come constructively. Feel free and then come and then voice out all your opinions. It will be, in fact, it will be welcome. Any question for me? Any question, suggestion, contribution, addition, subtraction, posting, comment, no multiplication and division. Those two guys, I don't like them.
Hello, Target.
Yes, please.
My network was not stable. You some question, I think question 2. You were talking about adjusting event, accounting treatment, and non-adjusting event. Can you
Yes.
the page so that I can go there? If it is in our book.
Yes, please. It's in there. It is in the book, the manual. When we check, let me get the page for you. Let me get the page for you right away. Where the book is.
Yes,
Okay, so the book is here. And then there will be a lot of updates coming. So home. Let's go. Okay, so you can be chipping your question in, and then we move. Now, in the book is IS 8. So IS 8 somewhere, IS 10 is somewhere here. So page 33 going. You can see that the same question in there. And this question has been solved. And I've gathered the drops too. So page 33, you can get the question from there. I think I picked that question from the book. Good. Any other question for me? Suggestion, contribution, any remarks, closing remarks? Whether this program should be encouraged. Very soon will be, maybe I'll try if I can get some of the examiners on board. But that one, professionals, we don't disclose our examiners. That one is unprofessional for anybody to do that. So only I can get a retired one, or I can't get current, or even if I get current, we will never disclose that it's an examiner. I've seen that. No, we don't do that. For professional bodies, we don't allow for students to know the examiner. I'll get that. So that is that. So I'll try. Maybe the subsequent one will have a foreign speech in for you to get. And then we'll also provide slides to that. Then we move. Any question for me? Suggestion, contribution, addition, posting, comment. Anything you like about the class, anything you don't like. But this is our first time, first edition of examination technique series. First edition. Yes, please.
The question that I asked you, I learned you have provided the answer, but my network was unstable again, so I didn't get the page that you said.
Okay, I think, okay. Yes, I think I was explaining how you should answer the question, this one.
Yes. You used some question, I think question 2. I saw something of that sort. To explain, yes.
That is the adjusting event or non-adjusting event, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I explained, because some of the students are not accounting students, they might not have, so I only provide how you must respond. So what are the points you must raise? And what sometimes you see end in the question. Students, most of them, they only answer the first one they see, they never answer the last one. If you see end and discuss and give example, the way they'll never give example. All these things count in the exam. So before you present your work, make sure that it covers everything. So now, here they say we should what? In fact, explain what is meant by adjusted and non-adjusted event, and then explain the accounting treatment. So first of all, you must explain what is adjusting event. So after explaining adjusting event, you now come and tell us the accounting treatment. Then you go to non-adjust and explain the accounting treatment. So that's how the format must be. Now, at the intervention ground, I'll walk you through how to answer specific question. That one, it will be profession by profession. I'll begin that.
Yes.
Okay.
Understood. Target.
Great. Any other observation? Something remarkable, something encouraging, something bad too? All of them. You are welcome. Any closing remarks? Any good news about it, bad news about it? Anything, posting comments, your view, your contribution, so at least your view and your contribution. That's what we want. Okay, good.
Hello, Target.
Yes, please.
Hello, Target.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm with you. Seems like the network is not too strong.